This is the three-step method by which divorce lawyers take a small problem and escalate into a destroyed marriage. Often I've seen this happen because I've consulted a lot of wives myself, and I have also done a lot of matrimonial legal work. And I've seen a very, very common theme that comes across almost in all interactions, and how this thing, not because of some deliberate effort by the lawyers, but by the design of things of the legal system in this country, matters escalate from the smallest of issue into a full-fledged divorce. Time immemorial, you have disputes between spouses where the spouses have to spend a little time away from each other. In India, if there is a dispute, the wife, for a few days goes off to her parents' house. Here, there will either be a lawyer or a law student relative, or there will be a relative who has a lawyer friend. And this person says, why not get an understanding of your legal rights? Why not go and talk to this lawyer? And this is where the saga starts. The first thing that the lawyer will say is that to get the husband on the negotiation table, because there has been lack of communication, there has been breakdown, maybe there is a certain difficulty that the wife is facing with the husband or her in-laws, and in a lot of situations there could be full blown dowry harassment, domestic violence, whatever the case may be. Whatever grievance, no matter how small or large, the lawyer always says that in order to get the husband and his family members to the negotiation table, let's go and file a criminal complaint against them. And the lawyer explains that even if, say for example, the wife says, I do not want to pursue any criminal remedies because this will lead to a complete breakdown of my marriage and I do not want to get divorced, the lawyer says that when you file this complaint before the police station, the police will not automatically register an FIR, nor will the husband or his family members be automatically arrested because of this. The matter will only go to the crime against women cell from the local police station. And it is there that the crime against women cell will call both parties for an amicable handling of the situation, where either the wife goes back and starts living with the husband, or there is an amicable break apart where you will, as the wife client sitting in front of me, you will get a substantial sum of money as settlement amount. To which even then, a lot of times a wife says, I do not want to break down of my marriage, I just want things to continue, but I need to have a discussion with the husband and his family members. And because of whatever reasons, there is a breakdown in communication. Now, once the wife client of the lawyer now agrees to drafting of this complaint, she doesn't understand to what extent the allegations will be there. And when she sees the first draft of the allegations against the husband and his family members, it is full of concoctions and exaggerations on most days. And the reason why, again, divorce lawyers have to explain this to the wife client, that if I don't do this, and if things do not, in the later stages, if there is no resolution, what is going to happen is that the police might not even register an FIR. And even if an FIR is registered, there is going to be a big possibility that the police might not do anything, or getting anticipatory bail for the husband and his family members will be very easy because of the not so severe allegations, because the courts of law also expect that if the person is actually guilty of even the smallest thing, he will face the repercussion after a fair trial. But if you want to have a husband go to jail, maybe, or to at least have the fear of going to jail, or if you have to, if you want the husband to fear having to pay maintenance, or maybe say a residence order against him, you need to have strong enough allegations. And this is step 2, where the wife is, without her willingness in entirety, consenting to drafting and filing of a complaint against the husband and his family members. And step 3 is when the husband is finally called to the crime against women cell to face negotiations and this amicable settlement. It is at that point of time that the officers at the CAW cell quite often intimidate, threaten the husband. And mind you, CAW cell proceedings are always meant to stretch out to a minimum of 4 to 5 hearings, no matter what. Even if the husband and wife are ready to go back on the first date, the CAW cell will say no. First, we want an ample discussion on whatever is going on over here. And on the first and the second and the third date, the husbands are amply threatened, intimidated by the CAW officers. And around that point of time, when the wife goes back and discusses with her lawyer, because lawyers are not allowed in CAW meetings, in these conciliation settings, the wife goes back to the lawyer and explains that the husband was terrified and that the CAW cell officer was completely on her side. It is at that point of time that she's already invested in this 3-step process, where the lawyer then tells her that it is far better for you to now go for a divorce and claim a huge amount of money, because in any case, when your husband reads the allegations that you have put against him and his family members, it will be very difficult for the two of you to continue this marital relationship. And because of the investment already made by the wife in terms of money, in terms of effort, in terms of signing on the lies concocted by the divorce lawyers, it is at this stage that the wife feels very, very helpless and agrees to pushing for a settlement through a divorce rather than going back home to her husband. It is very sad, but unfortunately, this is something that lawyers themselves are also bound on, because of the fact that if we break down all of these steps, if there is no complaint filed, there is no calling the husband or his family members on the negotiation table, if the allegations are not severe, as earlier mentioned, if things do not get compromised, you will have a weak complaint, because of which there will be easy grant of bail and also, in all probability, an acquittal as well. And on the third step, if the CAW officers are not threatening and intimidating, then in that situation, the husband will not feel the slightest bit of fear or threat in his mind. But simultaneously, because there is an actual possibility that the husband, after reading the complaint, will not agree to going back to living together with his wife, the lawyers are right in saying that if the husband does read it, it's going to be a problem. And this is a 3-step method, because of which lawyers, despite having the best intentions, in the smallest of situations, they create a mountain out of a mole, and they effectively lead a marriage to the path of complete destruction.